Good morning, everyone. Wow, I have quite the lag today. There we go. We are reading Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. We are on Chapter 1, The Old Sea Dog at Admiral Benbow. I write this story at the tender age of 17 because Squire Tronley, Dr. Livesey, and the rest of these gentlemen have asked me to write something about everything about Treasure Island from start to finish. I think back to the time when my father ran the Admiral Benbow Inn, and of that brown old seaman with a saber cut who first took shelter under our roof. I remember him clearly, walking to the inn door, followed by a man who was pulling along a hand barrel in which he had put his sea chest. He was a strong, tall, and heavy man, his pigtail falling over his dirty blue coat, his hands rough and scratched with black, broken nails, and a saber cut across one cheek. He looked around the area and sang that song he would always sing in his high voice. 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. And then he tapped the door with the stick he carried until my father opened it. He asked for a glass of rum, and when he got it, he drank it slowly as if he was enjoying the taste. This is a handy cove, said the seaman to my father. Do you have a lot of visitors? No, not too many, replied my father. Well, I like this place, said the seaman. He called out to the man pulling the barrel. Here, you, matey, bring my chest over here. I'll be staying here for a while. He turned to my father. I'm a very simple man. All I will need is rum and bacon. You may call me captain, and this is for your services. He threw 3 or 4 pieces of gold near the door. There was something strange about the guest. Even though he called himself a captain, he looked like a mere mate or a skipper who was used to obeying orders. He had asked about the inns along the coast, and since our inn was well spoken of, he decided to stay there. All day the silent man would stand upon the cliffs with the brass telescope in one hand. All evening he would sit by the fire drinking rum. And every day when he came back from the cliffs to the inn, he would ask if any sailors had passed by. At first we thought that he was feeling lonely and he wanted to be around people like him. But then we realized that he desperately wanted to avoid them. If any sailor stayed at the inn for the night, he would observe them through a curtain for a bit before entering the room. One day he took me aside and promised to give me a silver penny on the first of every month if I kept an eye out for a seafaring man with one leg. The idea of a man with only one leg terrified me. I started having nightmares of him. Sometimes, when the captain drank a lot, he would either start singing old sea songs or he would order drinks for everyone and ask them to sing along with him. The house would often echo with yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. The people only sang because they were afraid of the captain. Whenever he drank too much, he would become very angry if nothing happened his way. He would not allow anyone to leave the inn until he went to bed himself. What frightened people most were his stories. He would always tell stories about hangings, or walking the plank, or storms at sea. My father always said that the inn would be ruined as people would stop coming there. But I always thought that his presence brought a lot of excitement into the quiet country life here. In one way, we did not think the inn would close down, for he stayed month after month until all of his money was gone. If my father asked for more, the captain would just stare at him until he left the room. The captain never changed his clothing, never spoke to anyone unless it was the neighbors or when he drank too much. And in all of this time, none of us ever knew what was in his sea chest. One afternoon, Dr. Livesey came to see a patient. I couldn't help noticing the difference between the neat, well-mannered doctor and the rough, dirty pirate. Suddenly the captain started singing, 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Drink and the devil had done for the rest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Dr. Livesey looked up angrily at the captain for a moment before he started speaking to his patient. When the captain slammed his palm on the table, everybody in the room became silent. All except Dr. Livesey, who continued to talk with his patient. The captain shouted out, "Silence there between the decks!" Were you talking to me, sir?" asked the doctor. And when he got a yes as a reply, he added, "Sir, if you keep drinking like that, you will die." The captain was furious. He took out his knife and he tried to pin the doctor with it. But the doctor didn't even move a muscle. He told the captain, "If you don't put away your knife, I will make sure you are hanged." Then the doctor added, "I am not only a doctor, but I am also a magistrate. If I hear any complaints about you, I will see that you are severely punished." Soon after saying that, the doctor left the inn. For the next few evenings, we saw only good behavior from the captain. And that's the end of chapter 1 of Treasure Island.